Hi there, welcome to I Lo-Fi Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Aries energy. And for this round, we're going to ask what's going on in Aries energy. Why is this going on in Aries energy? Some advice for the situation and what could be a possible outcome if people were to follow the advice. So, we have to realize that not everybody harnesses high vibe Aries energy. Some people, high vibe Aries energy would be people who make good decisions in relationships with other people. They don't make decisions that are just best for themselves. They've kind of grown up and learned lessons in life that if you want to get along well with people and have people work together with you, you need to grow up, you need to heal, you need to mature yourself. You need to operate from a foundation of truth and love and balance and character and integrity and treat people the way you like to be treated. And you listen to love and intuition to guide you. But some people harness a more worldly or shadowy Aries energy, and they're kind of more about themselves or their ego or their image, or sure that if they indulge in whatever they go indulging in the world, if that's, the normal vices or ego or money, that they're sure they're going to be happy. So we just need to see the truth of it, that not everybody is motivated by love. Some people think love is like the most important thing to stay away from because they could get hurt. And for some people, the most important thing in their life is to not let their more vulnerable, authentic nature out in the world to play because it could get hurt. So, what's going on in Aries energy? This card not showing itself, which is the Two of Swords. And the reason this came out is because of the Empress energy and the Nine of Wands. So the way I read tarot, so you can apply it to everybody in your life, is the masculine energies can well, actually, this one has long hair. The masculine energy, which doesn't mean a man could, but I'm going to take that as a female. The masculine energies can represent how we take action in the world, how we present ourselves in the world, and the feminine figures can represent how we think and how we feel. So we can present ourselves in the world any way we want. But what is the truth of how we think and feel? So, with the Two of Swords not showing itself, I would interpret that to mean that some people, high vibe people, are listening to their intuition. And other people in their life might not know that they're listening to their intuition to guide them, not making decisions more out of fear or insecurity or pride or ego or codependency or whatever. Why are those people listening to their intuition? Because emotionally, they're harnessing high vibe Libra Taurus energy. They've put in the work and effort to get balance within themselves, like to offer love and compassion and forgiveness to their fears and their insecurities and their self-limiting beliefs, to love themselves, to maintain balance within themselves. And they're also people who are inspired to want to wrap their brain around this game of life because they want to move forward, and life's an adventure to be lived. And if we don't want to keep staying stuck, which is what the Two of Swords can also talk about, we need to do this work within ourselves to wrap our brain around this game of life, to get more balance within ourselves, because otherwise we'd be tipped out of balance. We could be enabling poor behavior in ourselves or in others, and then we kind of get ourselves, we either run our life off into the ditch because we've gotten tipped out of balance and we make things other than loving ourselves and believing we deserve justice and fairness. And we kind of go indulge in these other things of the world that, we're going to learn some tough lessons from. And some people have already done that and they've been wounded. And so they no longer want to stay stuck and being in denial of the truth. So they're doing this work within themselves to get themselves more balanced, to love and believe in themselves, and to stand up for themselves and what they believe in. And part of that is having good boundaries within ourselves. If we're a loving, nurturing person who maintains balance within ourselves and acts with character and integrity in a relationship, we deserve to be in relationships with other people who treat us that way. And sometimes other people don't. Other people might not want to see the truth, which is what the Two of Swords and shadow can mean. Well, I don't want to see the truth. Why? Because I harness these energies in a shadowy way. I, in my Libra, Taurus, and Sagittarius energy, am defensive. And I kind of think that I should be kind of indulged in a relationship. Somehow the scales of justice should be tipped in my favor for some reason. I either because I have money or status or image or power, or I'm attractive or what, or I'm just egotistical. For some reason, some people just think they're all that, and other people should indulge them in a relationship. And so for the people that are in where both people are doing this, both people listen to their intuition. Both people have done this work within themselves to maintain balance, to act with character and integrity, and they're defending, the people in their life that they're working with that harness these energies in the same way. If they're in a mismatched relationship where one person harnesses these in a high vibe and one harnesses them in a more shadowy way, the people who like to be more indulged in a relationship could be defensive, and they could be becoming more defensive because the other person seems to be listening to their intuition more instead of just indulging them the way they like to be indulged. And they don't like that. Why are you listening to your intuition? What's going on here? Why are you acting different? Why do you seem to have better boundaries than you had before? And for some of you, some people have already cut out some people in their life that harness shadowy Libra energy. It doesn't have to be someone under a Libra sun sign, but it could have been someone who you used to think was more just and fair and balanced and act with character and integrity and had good boundaries to their shadowy nature, and you found out that they didn't. And they seem to be in denial of the truth of that. So some of you already cut some people out of your life that already showed you they're kind of not on the same page as you. Why is this going on in Aries energy right now? Because some people have healed. They've meditated on the truth, and the truth sets us free to live our life differently. I've healed from some past pain and heartbreak. I've meditated on the truth. I'm no longer in denial of the truth. It is about love. It is about acting with character and integrity. It is about treating other people the way I like to be treated. People are supposed to discipline their more self-indulgent thinking I should be indulged in a relationship. People are supposed to have self-discipline against their more shadowy nature. And some people have seen the truth of that, and they're seeing the truth about different people in their life. Who is more just and fair and balanced and loving, and who has good boundaries within themselves, and who seems to be defensive, who might have some of these things of the world, and for some reason think they should be indulged in the world in their kind of poor behavior or self-centered nature. And the reason the Four of Swords came out is because of the Two of Wands. The high vibe people have a dream, and they want their dream to come into reality. And if they're seeing the fact that some of the people in their life, whether that's a boss, a coworker, a sibling, a friend, a romantic interest, that those people seem to harness these energies differently, it's kind of seeing the truth that your dream can't come into reality with them. If you are wanting to be in a relationship with people who are loving and nurturing and have good boundaries, act with character and integrity, you want to be in relationships with other people who are like that. But sometimes we have people in our life who aren't that, and the truth sets us free. Sometimes what makes us start listening to our intuition can be just other things that kind of inspired us to think about these things. We could know other people who healed, and they're moving forward in a more loving, balanced way, and they have good boundaries. It's like, why don't I have good boundaries? Why do I enable poor behavior in myself or in others? Don't I believe in my dreams? And it doesn't have to be another person that inspired us. You know, the Two of Wands is fire energy about creativity and imagination. We can read a book, we can watch a movie, we can listen to a song, we can look at artwork. All these things that people have created in the world can be used to help inspire us to see the truth. And sometimes the Empress energy can represent, you know, how we can get caught up in the world. Because shadowy Empress and Libra Taurus energy, where we think it's just and fair to maybe make our life more about indulging in these things of the world instead of seeing through the illusion that it's not the things of the world that make us happy, or if we have enough status or image or money that will make us happy, or if we indulge in enough of these things in the world. You know, we all have lessons to learn, and we all probably went through some phases of life, and I think the hardest lesson to learn is to love yourself. And so we do go indulge in all these things outside of ourselves, thinking those are the answer. And sometimes we're looking to other people to love us because we've been wounded. And that's okay. We can all, we all got lessons to learn. We've all been there. We've all done that. And, but that can kind of be being in more codependent energy, because codependent energy is like looking outside of yourself for the answer instead of realizing the answer lies within you. And when we learn to become our own best, like mother, father, coach voice in our own head, and love ourselves and offer ourselves love and compassion and forgiveness for the mistakes we've made, offer love and compassion and forgiveness to people in our life. We've all got lessons to learn. Some people are more open and loving and giving and nurturing because they've freed themselves from some of the things that manipulate them from being that way. And some people didn't free themselves from the things that keep them in their fear, in their self-centered nature, their immature nature. And so they're not very loving and nurturing or balanced or mature. And we go through a phase of life where we can be looking to other people because we repeat certain patterns of life until we learn the lesson we were meant to learn. Because life's all about learning these lessons. And we'll repeat a certain pattern until we see the truth of it. Learn the lesson we were meant to learn from it. See the truth. And we come into contact with all these different people to try to help us get clear about what our truth is. And sometimes we can get in relationships with people or getting a new job and we think, oh my gosh, this is going to make me happy. I think me and this person are on the same page, And then we find out we harness these energies differently sometimes where, we're not on the same page, or maybe we realize we did have some healing to do, and maybe we were more in codependent energy, and that's fine. We all get in relationships with people and like to be in relationships with people who are kind of on the same page as us, and we can get in relationships with people because we're both looking outside of ourselves for someone to love us because we've been wounded. The only problem is if one person likes to repeat that pattern over and over and over, and the other person is kind of motivated to free themselves, to be more independent within themselves, because high vibe energy is about being independent and knowing how to fill your own cup emotionally and knowing your worth and value. And we want to feel that way within ourselves. I want to feel more balanced within myself. I want to feel more stable and secure within myself. I want to learn to love myself and release the past so I'm not in my fear or my insecurity or my codependent nature. And if one person does that work within themselves to heal and meditate on the truth and believe in their dreams, but the other person's like, no, my idea, I want to keep moving forward just like this. This is my dream life. I don't want to do life any different. You should stay in this work, in this job, or in this friendship or this romantic relationship because this is the kind of relationship I like. I'm wounded. I like to be in relationships with people who are loving. You shouldn't heal. You shouldn't grow or mature yourself because that means you're going to move forward like to the next phase of life because you've healed. You learned the lessons. You're ready to go to the next phase of life. but I don't want to go to the next phase of life. I'm happy living my life like this. And that's when we can have a problem in a relationship. One person healed, the other person is kind of like resting and healing within the relationship without really dealing with their issues. It's just like, oh my God, that last relationship or that last job was so challenging or something. I just need a place to rest. And then it can kind of be like they're indulging themselves. That would be shadowy wand energy. I just want to indulge myself in this relationship to feel better. And then sometimes other people look to other people like you're the answer to my problems. So some people look outside themselves to drugs or alcohol or gambling or whatever they look to. Some people look to relationships to be the answer to their problems. Like, oh my God, thank goodness I got in a relationship. Oh my gosh, I got someone to be loving and nurturing to me where I can rest, or it helps me not be so defensive, or maybe in shadowy Sagittarius energy that they might harness, kind of taking some more impulsive, reckless action in their life. So it helps them feel maybe more balanced within themselves. But then they're looking to you to be the answer to their problems. And if their problems bubble up, like, why am I starting to feel defensive? You must not be doing your job because I got in a relationship with you for you to solve my problems. And if my fears or my insecurities or my more defensive nature or my more immature nature, something pops up, well, I don't know. I think I need to go find someone else to get in a relationship with. So it's like treating people like they're booze or drugs. Well, you're not working. I think I'll go try that. And they don't take responsibility within themselves. And other people, shadowy empress can be these, again, like these people who are kind of full of themselves. And if you're not kind of indulging them in their ego, well, why do you have good boundaries? You used to kind of indulge me in my ego, and now you seem to not be indulging me in my ego. Well, where did these boundaries come from? I don't like it. And that also then can make some of the people who are a little more shadowy think, I think I'm going to go try to find someone else to be in a relationship because I don't like that you have boundaries. I like you to be defensive. For some people, that's their dream relationship. I want to go find some people who are loving and nurturing and supportive who are wounded. I'm going to come into their life like I am the answer to their problems. Don't listen to your intuition. Don't heal. You stay just like you are, because then I'm going to indulge in a relationship with you because you're defensive to giving birth to anything new and loving and believing in yourself. You could maybe, your idea should be that I am the answer to your problems. It's like, and we can get in relationships like that and we can kind of feel like that. But if one person does the work to really heal from what had wounded them, they are ready to give birth to something new. And that's when the other people in their life become defensive. The Empress in High Vibe is about being ready to emotionally give birth to something new. And that's sometimes when you see somebody's shadowy nature come out and they're like, you're not going anywhere. I like this relationship. You're supposed to stay right here. And I'm not going to give birth to anything new. And I'm not going to be more just and fair or grow or mature or heal. And you're supposed to stop. And it can kind of be some people who think they're the boss of you. And again, that can be a friend, a family member. I don't want you to give birth to anything new. I'm not giving birth to anything new. I don't want you to have your dreams come into reality when I'm living my life like this. And so sometimes people just have other people in their life who are trying to manipulate and control them, and they try to play on like their fear and their insecurity. If it's just maybe a friend or a relative, if it's a romantic partner, they might try to play on their lust or their greed or their more impulsive nature. I don't want you to give birth to your dreams. I want you to reject your loving nature, and I want you to reject the loving people in your life. I want you to align with me and live your life like this. Your loyalty should be to me. So basically, we got to see the truth. We have our dualistic nature. We have people in our life who are aligned with our more loving nature. They're not trying to manipulate and control us. They want us to heal and grow to our full potential. And then it's to see the truth that some people in our life are kind of more aligned with our shadowy nature, and they like us being in our shadowy nature, whatever that is, because then we'll stay in relationship with them. And if we were to heal or grow or mature or start loving and believing in ourselves, we'd probably distance ourselves from some of those people. And they don't want us to do that because they either think they should be the boss of us, or if they want to be in a relationship with us and they don't want to grow and mature or heal, whatever, be more just and fair, act with character and integrity, be loving, be authentic. They want to keep kind of indulging in the relationship, and they don't want us to see the truth that they really are staying in a more immature energy where, and again, it could just be my dream and my truth is that I'm more motivated and inspired by the world. I think it's more about ego and image and money and materialism. And if I'm in a relationship with you, it seems like I have those things. So I want you to stay here. And other people are like, do you love me? Is that why we're in this relationship? Well, this makes practical, logical sense. Don't you want these things? And for a long time, people can stay, we can all really be tempted by our worldly egoic nature because we're defensive, of leaving that job, leaving that friendship, leaving that relationship, because that means we got to kind of be in our Aries energy more bold and brave to believe in our dreams and not get caught up in staying in denial of the truth and being defensive to giving birth to anything new. And some people are counting on the people in their life to be defensive of giving birth to anything new because it works for them. But if they're not on the same page as us and being just and fair and acting with character and integrity and loving and warm and nurturing and supportive, then they get to be in a relationship with someone like that, but you end up in a relationship with someone like them. And that's like an injustice. You deserve to be in a relationship with someone who's like yourself, who treats you the way you treat them. So what's the advice? We have the Ace of Wands, the Tower not showing itself, and the Knight of Wands, and the reason is because of the Five of Cups. The advice for anybody would be take some inspired action to work through some regrets you have about the past or feelings and disappointments that you have about relationships in your past that didn't work out, so that, you're not taking action that's like immature and reckless out of being triggered in your fear, in your insecurity, in your defensiveness. Or if you're in loving relationships with people who have good boundaries, and, we should put in that work and effort to deal with our own issues instead of letting go of maybe a solid foundation that we're building. And sometimes, we all have to listen to our intuition when it could be time to move on in life and away from certain things in our life. So the advice could be, do this work within yourself of detaching from some things in your life that kind of manipulate you. Take this action to be inspired to learn the lessons you were meant to learn from those life experiences, because High Vibe Sagittarius, the Knight of Wands and the Nine of Wands, is about higher learning and education. Otherwise, we can take defensive, kind of immature action in our life that will lead to regret. So do the inner work within yourself on your own foundation instead of trying to maybe control other people or taking impulsive, reckless action. And offer encouragement to other people to do that too. But if we see that people aren't willing to do that and there's things in their life that they really need to detach from, that they're not willing to detach from, if our intuition is telling us that they're like defending an old idea of what they love or other people in their life that they love, but you're the romantic interest that they're trying to move forward and have a new foundation with, their loyalty should be to their primary loyalty should be to the people that they're trying to build this new life with. But some people are kind of immature and they could be really codependent on some other people in their life. It could be someone who represents a mother figure in their life. For some of you, it could be a Libra or Taurus, or just people in their life that they have love for, that they look to more for their sense of maybe stability and security in their life. And if they're not people who are willing to detach from those people, then if we see the truth of that, we might realize that I'm sad this relationship isn't going to move forward. And the wands can talk about communication. We could communicate to some people in our life that, I'm ready to move forward in life. I don't want to keep carrying my baggage with me. I don't want to stay in relationships with people. The Five of Cups, the Scorpio energy, some people in their Scorpio energy, which we all tap into. Some people are more emotionally shallow and superficial, and that can be why they do make their life more about their ego or their image or defensive to being loving. But they could view themselves, and they like other people to view them as loving, but they're really kind of defensive of actually being loving. And some of them are defensive to be more just and fair, and they think for some reason they should be indulged in a relationship, and they got some lessons to learn in life. And it's basically to see the truth. Listen to your intuition. Who hasn't healed from the past? Who's still kind of immature and got some lessons to learn? Who could be hiding the fact that they don't operate? If you want to build a solid foundation, it has to be built on love. Otherwise, you're trying to build a foundation with people on something else. Fear, insecurity, pride, ego, lust, greed. And if someone comes along who's got more money, more status, more power, more willing to indulge someone in their kind of immature ways of being, they'll go get in a relationship with someone else because it's not built on love to begin with. Or, you just see they're unstable, they're fearful, they're insecure, don't want to see the truth. The truth sets us free. And if you're ready to give birth to something new and they refuse to see the truth and you've already seen the truth about them, people show us all the time kind of what they're motivated and inspired by and what they're not motivated and inspired by. And if they're kind of immature or prideful or egotistical or stubborn or bossy or controlling or defensive, the truth sets you free. See the truth. Detach from the people you need to detach from. Wrap your brain around this game of life that you're sad that this didn't work out. You wish they would have moved forward with you, but you can only have your dreams come into reality or want to invest your time, energy, and effort into people who are open to giving and receiving love in a just and fair, balanced way, acting with character and integrity. And our intuition was given to us as a gift to help us navigate this world. And if we don't listen to our intuition, what are we listening to? Fear, insecurity, pride, ego. I don't want to leave. I'll be sad. I'm afraid they'll go get in a relationship with someone else. Whatever, What is the possible outcome if people listen to their intuition, maybe communicate with people in their life, what I'm motivated and inspired by, what motivates and inspires you. Are you happy? Do you want to do love? Do you want to do a more deep, meaningful relationship? Are you more motivated by the world or ego or image or want to go play the field? Let's just be truthful here. And let's detach from the things we need to detach from and let the past go. And if you want to move forward in that way, we move forward in a mutually loving relationship. But everybody has to be truthful about what they love. About what they love. Do you love the world more? Do you love someone else more? Do you have more loyalty to your friend or family group or your ego or your defensive nature? We just got to speak the truth. High vibe people in the energy of love what helps us heal. They're not going to stay in denial of the truth because the truth is going to set them free. And they're going to listen to their intuition about the truth of people's philosophy of life. The Six of Pentacles is Taurus energy. What is your philosophy of life? What do you think is a just and fair relationship? What's your dream relationship? If your dream relationship is that you like to maybe repeat some pattern of the past and be in a more transactional relationship, then that's not what I want. I want a relationship where people take action from love. They're willing to listen to love and intuition in a relationship instead of being defensive and making decisions more out of fear and insecurity. And they do equal give and take in a relationship. Not like, oh, I'm defensive, but I want to stay in the relationship because in my Taurus energy, it's good for my ego and my image. It's like, I don't want to stay in a relationship with someone because it's good for your ego or your image. I want people to be in a relationship with me because they love me. And by listening to truth and love, it will help you get more balance within yourself and help you kind of exchange out some of the ways of being in your life or viewing life or people in your life that you need to let go out of your life to go exchange time, energy, and effort with people who are more on the same page as you. And the Virgo Hermit is to take some time to heal. The Ten of Swords is completing a cycle. So Virgo energy goes within to see the truth. And when we deal with the truth and kind of, look at the things that we hadn't wanted to look at before. That's why we stay in the Two of Swords. Because we didn't really want to see the truth. Because if we were to see the truth, it's kind of like we got to take action on the truth. And so a long time we can stay like in denial of the truth, not wanting to see the truth. But sometimes we have to see the truth that sometimes some people in the Ten of Swords don't want us to move forward and become all we can be in the world and to love ourselves, because they do want us hurt and wounded, because they might be hurt and wounded. And if we heal and we do this work within ourselves to quit looking to other people to love us and do this work within ourselves to learn to love ourselves and love our own inner child nature, so we're not in that more codependent energy, so we believe that we do deserve more equal give and take in a relationship versus the scales kind of being tipped in one person's favor where they kind of get to be indulged in a relationship. And I think if people do that work within themselves, they'll realize that they need to quit investing in people who harness this energy in a shadowy way. Shadowy Aries and people who harness their emotional energies in a shadowy way, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, where they could be kind of immature and they kind of are more emotionally invested in themselves. and kind of bossy and controlling. And some people like a parent-child dynamic. You're supposed to look to me as this loving person and look to me for everything you want. You're not supposed to love and believe in yourself. You're not supposed to heal. You're not supposed to have your own dreams. You're supposed to be this codependent person who keeps investing in me. And you realize I'm going to quit investing in the people who are like that, and I'm going to go invest in the people who harness this energy in a high vibe way. High vibe, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. People who are willing to let their more vulnerable inner child nature out to play in the world. Because that's what you do. You let your more authentic, vulnerable, loving nature out in the world. And some people have abused that. They took the love that you had for them to try to control you and manipulate you. And that's an injustice. So you want to go find people in the world who have been inspired to love themselves, who are inspired to be in deep, meaningful, loving relationships. The other people, shadowy Queen of Cups, I view it as people who sometimes like to repeat this old pattern, and where nothing changes. They hide the fact that they don't want to do this inner work. They hide that they kind of backstab and betray themselves, and they don't take creative inspired action, and they don't kind of like love their more inner child nature. They've decided to invest in kind of being just more about themselves, which is their more emotionally immature nature. And then they want people to get in a relationship with them where they're kind of emotionally immature and kind of got these shadowy traits and characteristics and might be a little more emotionally shallow and superficial and don't really want other people to grow and heal and become all they can be because they're not planning to. They don't plan to do any of that. They're happy repeating this old pattern. No, no, no. I don't want to detach from anything. I like the way I live my life. I don't want to deal with those issues. I'm going to go indulge myself, not letting go of any of those things. And whatever regrets I have from the past, whatever past pain and heartbreak, I think in my ego, I can just ignore it. But it affects the decisions they make in their life. It affects how they interact with people. Until we heal that wound, we're not going to be our default action in a relationship won't be like truth and love and balance and hope and faith. It'll be like, I'm fearful, I'm afraid, I'm defensive to moving forward in life. And in a way, it's like they can't move forward in life because they didn't learn the lessons they were meant to learn through a phase of life that some other people already learned. Some people already learned I shouldn't be bossy and controlling. I shouldn't think that I can manipulate people. That it's kind of more about me, and I should be able to be immature, and people should just indulge me in my immature, bossy ways of being. That might be a life they love to live, and they want to keep living it. They just need to find someone else who's willing to indulge them in that way. Some of you are defensive to people in your life who harness this energy in a shadowy way. Again, because you have a dream and you want to be in relationships with people who are on the same page as you. If you haven't already communicated with some of the people in the world who you think are on the same page as you, high vibe people aren't in their ego because high vibe energy is about not being in your ego. I am willing to communicate with people that I could have let go of something I had been involved in. And I learned some lessons from that life experience. And I'd like to be with some people who I think are on the same page as me. Do you think you want to be on the same page as me? Are you on the same page as me? And if some of those people that you communicate to, some of those people could be in two minds about what they want to do. Some of them could be defending a way of living life that they're living life, or sometimes people are in relationships and you don't know they're in relationships. And we just have to see the truth of that too. The people who are ready to move forward with us and are kind of meant to move forward with us would be more free to move forward with us. And we can't keep staying. We're ready to give birth to something new. And if we've communicated our truth already, for those of you who haven't, or for those of you that have, we have to see the truth. That people could be in their own loving, nurturing relationships, and why, if they were to take action towards us, that could be them being in an immature energy and letting go of something stable. And we don't want people to come toward us in immature energy. It's like, no, if you're in a loving, nurturing situation, I want you to stay there. I wish you the best. I might be sad it didn't work out for me, but my dreams coming into reality aren't codependent on a certain person. I'm looking for people who have these certain traits and characteristics that are available to move forward with me. And we don't sometimes really know the truth about some people. Some people are in loving, nurturing relationships, and that's why they, maybe if we made an offer, aren't getting in a relationship with us. Maybe they're not really who we thought they are, and maybe they are more codependent or haven't healed or don't believe in themselves. So, to not stay in denial of the truth. And like I say, sometimes we don't really know what the truth is. Just assume they're in a great relationship and they're honky dory and move on with your life. Don't let it destabilize you on giving up on your dreams, because that's what some of the shadowy people did already. They wanted to be in a relationship with someone. It didn't work out the way they wanted. And they're not willing to deal with the truth of how they contributed to not working out, the traits and characteristics of the other people they might have tried to move forward in a relationship. Maybe they had illusions about those people and they weren't really who they thought they were. And some of those people let it kind of destabilize them. And some of those people are kind of hiding that. And because they want to feel better, they kind of keep repeating an old pattern. And until they deal with this regret they have about those relationships not working out and take responsibility for their part in it, they're going to keep repeating this pattern. And some of those people are hiding the fact that some of the shadowy people are hiding that they backstab people who were willing to move forward with them in a balanced, insightful, loving way. But they could have taken some immature action in those relationships that kind of blew the whole thing up. And they don't want to see the truth of it or maybe tell the truth of it. And the truth sets them free. And until they reveal the truth of it and do this work within themselves, they're going to keep repeating a pattern of being defensive, not wanting to see the truth, thinking they can control things and maybe manipulate the truth, try to confuse people about the truth. But other people listen to their intuition, and eventually other people think, I don't think you are who you say you are. What else could be coming up for people who harness some high vibe Aries energy that you might not see coming? The King of Swords, because of the Star card. The people who do this work within themselves, the King of Swords is Libra energy represented by the scales of justice. I think you'll get, and with this being the Ten of Swords, when we quit investing in our more immature egoic nature, like telling God, but I want this person to be in a relationship, and God's like, they've got free will and they're not doing that. But I want this person to be in a relationship with me. They got free will and they're not doing it. And you maybe got to see the truth that they might have some healing or growing or maturing to do. And you can still give birth to the things you want. Your dream isn't codependent on those people. You just have to face your fears about moving forward in life, because we all like to stay in our comfort zone. And even if we were dealing with people who are kind of shadowy, we kind of like to stay with the devil we know than the devil we don't know. But you've learned lessons from this life experience. So you're not as naive and gullible as you were before. You've learned to have better boundaries within yourself, not take impulsive action. And you might be a very loving, giving person, and you like to be really loving and like to be in relationships. But, we've learned that we need to listen to our intuition and get to know people and listen to our intuition about who do we think does harness these traits and characteristics in a more emotionally mature, healed way, and who is kind of more immature, bossy, or controlling, or indulgent, and maybe superficial and shallow. And if we don't want to repeat a poor past pattern, we will not continue to invest in people that our intuition tells us this isn't the right person. And we will wait to invest in the people who we think are the right person. So I think as people go through this process, they'll feel more balanced within themselves, and they're going to speak their truth. Right now, some people maybe hadn't been speaking their truth, and some people are, and they're going to speak the truth about their dreams that they have. And high vibe people do look at life from a higher perspective. There's a higher truth and justice to aspire to. We're emotionally complex people for a reason. We want and thrive best in emotionally nurturing, loving relationships. But for us to think that we can be these defensive people, like, well, you should just want to be loving to me, maybe because I have these things of the world to offer you in exchange for your loving nature. It's like, my loving nature isn't for sale. I want to be in relationships with other people who are willing to step outside of societal norms to bring needed change to the world, who aren't about trying to manipulate or control or buy people. People who are motivated by love and truth and justice and fairness. And I think you're going to manifest your dreams into reality because that's what you're aligning with within yourself. You're not investing your time, energy, and effort into shadowy ways of being within yourself and investing your time, energy, and effort into people who are shadowy. It's like, no, I'm standing in my truth. I'm maintaining balance within myself. I'm loving myself. I'm making good decisions in my life. I'm not investing in people who are shadowy because I've already been there and done that. My dream can't come into reality with them, and I've seen the truth of it. I'm no longer in denial. I have seen the truth, and I am detaching from that foundation and people who were immature, who did foolish things that made me sad, that didn't work cooperatively with me in love, and I'm standing in my truth. So I think you'll get the justice you deserve. What about, because we reap what we sow, what are some of the people who are harnessing some shadowy Aries energy? What's coming up for them that they might not see coming? The Ace of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, or the Four of Swords, because of the Ten of Cups. The high vibe people, or the more worldly, shadowy people who might be in their ego or their fear or their self-centered nature or whatever, those people never offer love to the past, to pick up their investment in the past, to get more balance with themselves, to heal so that they can go be happy. But other people did, and that could really surprise them because they never do that. They kind of end up giving in to their pride or their ego or their lust or their greed. They're sad, they want to feel better, and so then they kind of take this action to make them feel better. But kind of like the devil is kind of like short-term gratification. It isn't the long-term answer. Love is the long-term answer. Dealing with our past pain and heartbreak and self-limiting beliefs and our fears and our insecurities is what will free us, where it will no longer have control of us anymore, because the devil tries to get a hold of you, right? Imprison you and enslave you. And they kind of keep giving into those things, or the people in their life that try to manipulate and control them and play on their fear or their insecurity or their lust or their greed. And they could keep thinking it's going to make them happy, but they have some lessons to learn in life. And some other people have already learned these lessons. And they've already learned that you can go indulge in those things as much as you want, but it doesn't take the place of love. And some people think those things that they indulge in will take the place of love in their life, or being more codependent on other people to love than them learning to love themselves. So they didn't see that coming. So the high vibe people are harnessing high vibe Capricorn, high vibe Libra, high vibe Pisces. Another thing they might be surprised about is that there is people who are willing to be in a relationship with them, because everybody's on different pages in life. And there's other people who are juggling healing also, and they're not sure if maybe haven't learned to love and believe in themselves, kind of juggling if they should meditate on the truth and heal. And so there's going to be other people that have the idea, I could do that work within myself to heal, but I think I'll just be happy getting in a relationship with this person. And they might have someone who harnesses shadowy Capricorn, shadowy Libra, shadowy Pisces, who's willing to get in a relationship with them, because those people are still juggling. I don't know how I want to live my life. Maybe I'd be happy being in a relationship with you, and if it is more about ego and image and money and materialism, I don't know, that might make me happy. Um, Maybe if you're bossy and controlling, maybe that's a pattern of relationship I'm kind of used to. I can work with that. It's just wherever people are and what they want in their life at any given moment. So, but if some of the people that are kind of shadowy, who don't want to see the truth, and they're in a relationship with someone who wants a dream to come into reality, this pattern might repeat itself, and the people might say, I wish you love, but I'm picking up my investment in this and I'm going to heal, because the dream never comes into reality. They create the illusion that they want to have this loving, balanced, bring the dream into reality. But then they're defensive to really giving birth to that. And that can be where people feel like people are juggling them, and they're just kind of indulging themselves in a relationship. It's like, hey, if you're undecided, you be undecided. I'm sad this didn't work out, but I'm moving on. Until you decide what you want to do, I'm moving on. So for some of them, a pattern might repeat. For others, they might have someone who does want to move forward with them because they're on the same page as them. And neither one of them want to take more bold, brave, authentic, loving action in their life. And maybe they're both more about themselves or ego or image. And maybe they're both kind of emotionally shallow and immature. And that would be a just and fair relationship. For them to get in a relationship with someone who's like themselves would be a just and fair thing. For them to try to get in a relationship with someone who is more healed or mature or grounded and stable than they are, and they're trying to present themselves as being that type of person, and they're not, that's an injustice. So the high vibe people have seen the truth of that, and they're moving forward to go get in relationships. And some of you might have someone who is going to come in and stand up and defend you, because you've both been wounded by people like this. You're no longer confused about the truth. You're both listening to your intuition. And why? Because people have healed and people believe in their dreams. And some people see you as the person, and you see them as the person you can have your dreams come into reality with. And you're both going to do this work to heal from some past pain and heartbreak that you could have had with each other or with other people, to not let that disrupt this foundation, and to release what you do need to release so that you can move forward in this new beginning, having both completed a cycle and ready to invest in being bold and brave and authentic and vulnerable and loving. So there you go, Aries energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.